Well, we got a windstorm tonight, so it's quite fitting night to get some flashlight reviews done. And before you is the Eagletac P20 A2. And this is not a new light. I have done a review of it previously. I'll stick up there in the corner. But in that review, I mentioned that I think it is one of the best AA flashlights, two AA flashlights on the market. And it really had to do with the output and the versatility. Everything I said in that review up there holds true. In that review, I discussed that initially the P20 A2, and this is going to get a little geeky if you guys don't follow flashlight LED emitters, but in that, it originally came with an XPG. Shortly thereafter, they came out with an XML version for the P20. Now, there is a two sort of primary CR123 version of this flashlight, and it is called the C2. It's the P20 C2. And one thing about it is it runs off of higher voltage cells. You know, these CR123s are 3 volts a piece, where your standard AA's that you're going to use in this Eagletac are only 1.5 volts. So that's 3 volts total that you're able to put to that LED emitter head. Now with the C2 model, the 123 model over here, you've got 6 volts. You've got a lot more voltage going to that, and so naturally, although the flashlight just overall size is going to be shorter but a little bit bigger around, you're going to get more lumens. You're going to get more output out of that same LED emitter. And one of the things I've been using for a lot of different lights are, what you can see here is basically the lithium version of a AA flashlight. It's called the 14500. This little guy is 3.7 volts. Make sure we're on camera here. 3.7 volts. Generally out of the charger it can be as high as 4.2. So with basically freshly charged batteries, you're going to have two 4.2 volt at 8.4 volt total with these two. That's going to be even higher than you can get off of these two standard primaries. Now you can get rechargeable versions of CR123s. We won't go into that right now because it's just going to get more complicated as we go. But not only can you screw on various, let's get this guy off here, various diffusers on here, red light filters and things like that, but you're able to unscrew. Let's reverse thread. You're able to unscrew just the LED module itself, and that's what you basically see here is all the other modules that came with this. And I'm going to get a close-up for you just so you can kind of get an idea of what we're talking about. Alright, now as you can see, this one here, if you look at the very bottom, you're going to see the LED. That is a, make sure I get it right, it is a U2 of the XML emitters. You can kind of see the size of it down on the bottom compared to the original one, which was an XPG. And then here is the original XML that was designed for the A2 to run with the two AA's, and I've been using that for the past year since the original video. I also want you to see the side. As I kind of move that around, you can kind of see the orange peel factor, the crinkling on that reflector to kind of smooth out that beam and make it a little bit more floody. Let's say a little bit less maybe with the XPG, and you're going to see quite a bit less with the C2 model. So you're going to get quite a bit more throw out of this one, and that is the versatility. Now these are all in cool white. The other thing, if you guys are into the more natural colors, certainly you can get the warmer tints for this guy. And this one doesn't really have any writing on it, but luckily I pretty much can tell which one is which. So, you're asking yourself, well, what does that all mean for me? Well, one of the reasons I said this is the most versatile AA light out there is, certainly it's nice to have a backup of the LED. More important for me, if I'm looking for the next, the biggest, brightest, etc. out there, I do a lot of operation stuff at night, wildland fire, night hiking, just as far as security, I think it's very important to see what goes bump in the night. I like to have bright lights. And when not necessarily the next model comes out, but certainly a year or so down the road, if they've made a vast improvement over there, I'm going to be kind of checking it out to see whether the money is worth it. And most of the time it's not, because you're looking to put out another $60, $80, sometimes even more for the next flashlight. It's what you paid for. Yours is still working just fine. It may not be as cool or as bright as some of the other ones, or maybe you have a slightly different task that you're looking to put that light to use. Because these have the module LEDs in the head, you're able to upgrade at a very slim cost. This was $29, $30 for that emitter head instead of $60 or $80 what the original light was. And I got mine through Illumination Gear. I'll find a link that I got down there. Now, this is obviously not the intended purpose. The heads are the same, but because this is the A2, that emitter that's in there is designed for that 6 to 8.4 volts that we talked about earlier with the higher powered cells. So what do I have in here are those 14500s that we talked about. I have two. These are the Eagletac ones here. I have two of the 3.7, or like we said, after they get charged, these are going to be closer to 4.2 voltage of the lithium ions. And so I'm running basically 8.4 volts through this light for $30. And obviously I'm going to put in the pictures like I usually do. This is tightened to turbo. You loosen the head, you basically go to medium. Everything that's in the review. You go to your strobe modes, your blinky modes, and all that good stuff. And now we're back to, low. And I have not compared sort of run times or anything for the 14500 versus, but I'm sure they're going to be pretty good. The when you tighten the head and you go to turbo, just to give an example, I don't know, the C2 with the 123s in it are talking 700 some lumens, and it is definitely bright. It has made all the difference with this guy. This little light now is stepping up to the next series of Eagletac, this big old bad boy here, which we'll be doing on review down the road. But this guy puts out close to about 1,000 lumens. ANSI lumens is a little bit less because of the way they judge that. So when I'm mixing these heads in here, it's really hard to give you an accurate view of what is in there. But find anyone that runs the P20 A2 with rechargeables instead of the primaries, and find out what kind of lumens they're running. Maybe I'll do a quick search on candle forums. If you guys are finding this video through there, you probably already know. But it really just adds to this light. Now I have the possibility to run a lithium ion high voltage in there. I can switch the head back and run your standard double A's, and it really is, whether you want a neutral tint or warm tint, you can put that option in. I'm trying not to make this video terribly long, but you get the idea of where I'm going with this. I still say for a 2 AA flashlight, whether you're using the lithiums or not, this Eagletac P20 A2 is really still on the top of my list of grab lights when I need to have a light. It is an excellent, excellent light. Thanks for watching, guys.